Morning guys, Jared and I are out here today at what we affectionately call 1,000 Casts Dam, otherwise known as Thompsons Creek Dam. It's the middle of winter and the rivers are closed, but I really look forward to fishing at this time of year because it's some of the best lake fishing of the year. Lake fishing can be daunting to some people. You know, sometimes you might look at a big body of water and not know where to start, but the challenge is part of the fun, and I really enjoy that challenge of trying to read the water and figure out what the fish are doing. It can change not only from day to day, but from hour to hour when the conditions change. So Jared's going to be up first. We've got some ducks here in the corner. It looks like there might be some sort of a midge hatch or something going on. We're going to give it a go. What are you going to try first up, mate?
I'm going to start on a floater, fisher washing line, so I've got a fab on the point, and then just a little orange hotspot dialback and a little red holographic midge. Yeah. So I'm going to be fishing very slow. We've got tough conditions. It's basically a glass out there, so it's just going to be persistence today. The fish are going to be really spooky, so yeah, fish slow and fish small, I think. All right, hang on, I've got two big fish just cruising in here, so we're going to try and get it up and down on them. So he's following that fab, so we'll just present it back over. See if he'll come to that. So I've spooked those fish, they're gone now, unfortunately. This lake is so incredibly clear. It's quite hard when they're in that tight to get a shot on them. That's why we need generally a bit of wind here to create a bit of cover for ourselves. Okay, we've got a fish on it. We've got a fish on it here. Yep, got him. Oh, popped it. There's about 4 fish there. We'll see if we can get another one to have a go. What did he take? I couldn't tell. I think the blob, the fab, I should say.
So while Jared's out there fishing, I've been rigging up. Jared's fishing the washing line with a fab on the point. So I'm going to try a different technique, which is called the naked line, which is just 3 very, very tiny midge patterns on a floating line and a really, really long leader, probably 20-foot leader with quite light tippet. I've gone 4X, which is kind of light for these fish, but when you're fishing really small flies, I think it's good to go a little bit lighter. It's often a good idea if you're fishing with a mate to not fish exactly the same technique. You can tend to work things out quicker if you try different things and see what's having success. So Jared's obviously had one take already on the fab. I'm going to see how I go just fishing that tiny little bit deeper with these little size 18 midges.
Can you see these two just here, Peachy?
No, I haven't got a good angle. They're in close, are they?
Oh yeah, it's 5 feet out. They're thinking about the sporting business at the moment, unfortunately, not eating.
Yeah. They get quite a lot of attention, these fish.
Yeah.
In close, so sometimes, as you say, if you're not getting any response from them, you're probably better off fishing out a little bit wider for the fish that aren't seeing as many people. So to explain things a little bit here, guys, these fish that are pairing up in the shallows here, they're doing what's called false spawning. So at Thompsons Creek here, it's actually fed from Lake Lyell by a pipe that comes up underground and pipes water up in here. And there's only a very small feeder creek at the top, and I gather the fish can't really get up it. So there's no natural feeder stream in this dam for the fish to spawn in. So when it's the right time of year, they tend to get up around the edges in these shallow gravelly margins and do what's called false spawning. They can't really spawn in here, but they get up there and display that kind of behaviour anyway. So that's what's going on at the moment. Just sitting in there, slowly cruising. Pretty sure they know that we're here.
Yeah, I think we are.
And they're just, they're not interested. I can see Jared's fly there, the fab, just sort of sitting in front of them. Yeah, they're not responding.
Not in the slightest part interested.
No. So one of the things to be aware of here is that the fish can cruise the margins quite close. So it pays. There's a cruising fish. I see one right now. And my flies are stuck in the rocks. Bloody hell. So one of the questions today is going to be whether we spend time targeting these fish cruising the edges, or if we just focus out wider on fish that are feeding on the weed beds. It's a Sunday today, it's the weekend, so it's quite busy. There's been a lot of people walking around the lake, and typically in those conditions, the fish that are cruising the edges are going to be a little bit spooky and a little bit tougher. So one of the first things that you want to do when you're casting with a naked line rig like this is, as soon as your flies hit the water, you want to strip in a little bit of line and get tight to those flies, because the fish will usually take them static. If you've got a huge amount of slack in the end of your leader when that fly lands, a fish could take your fly and you would have no idea because you're not going to see the line move. I'm watching my fly line on the water. There's a few little bends and loops in the fly line, and I'm looking for any of those to straighten out or move in the slightest little way to give me an indication that something's taken. And if that happens, then I'm going to set the hook. 2 fish in front of me here, cruising your way.
Alrighty.
They're about 20 feet out.
Of course, I'm stuck in the rocks here at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, popped him.
That was one of those cruising fish.
Yeah.
He ate, and then the hook popped. Well, we've established at least that some of the cruising fish are catchable. Now we've just got to make them stick. So many ducks working out here. Obviously, a lot of midge around along this particular shoreline. One of the nice things in winter about this particular bank is that we're on the southern bank of the lake. So it's facing north, which means it gets a lot of sun, and so the water warms up. Typically in the winter months, the water's cold, and the trout can't regulate their own body temperature, so they'll seek out water that is the most comfortable temperature for them to feed in. And that slightly warmer water also probably causes some of the insects to hatch.
Seen me, obviously.
Oh. Yeah, he just spooked the fish right here cruising. He's a good fish.
Yeah, he was a good fish.
Oh, there's another one right in front of us now too. See him?
Yep.
No, they just spooked as soon as that fly hit the water. Yeah, they know we're here.
Yeah.
There's a couple of good fish cruising in here. Jared's going to go down and try and get a shot at them. It's a bit of a tricky spot, and we're going to be right in his back cast here too.
It's a pretty hard shot, this.
Can you see him?
No, but
I think he's moved on. He's not there anymore.
hopefully he's out there somewhere.
Oh, is he? Is that him? Yeah, he is out there.
Is he near my fly? Can you see my
Yeah,
blob?
he's right where you cast just before.
Yep.
He's a big fish. He's near your fly. He's sort of swum past it.
Okay.
He was just beyond it. Okay, he's a little more to the right now. Can you see him cruising along that edge? Watch
No,
your
I
back
can't.
cast. You're behind him. You're
Behind
about
him?
a metre behind him, and he just spooked when it landed.
Right, okay. Yeah, I don't think I got the angle here to see him.
Yeah. I'm in your back cast. Careful.
Oh, you see him take off?
Well, that got a response.
Sure did. They are uncatchable, those ones.
Yeah. You might as well have thrown a brick in the water.
Yeah.
It's one of the big ones cruising down there that Jared cast at just before.
Yep.
Did he spook?
No, he's... Just give him a twitch. He's moving. Leave it, leave it, leave it, leave it. No, they've paired back up, those two fish.
Yeah, right.
Nah, spooked.
Yeah. Far out. All right. Yeah, you can't put it too close to them, eh?
Nah. I think you pretty much just ignore anything that's in pairs.
Yeah. Oh, he's paired up.
Yep. Can you get one on them? Make that cast again, but a bit longer.
He's swimming towards it. That was behind him, eh? Ah, spooked him.
Oh boy.
Bloody hell. All right, yeah. I think we need to find some ripple, mate.
Yeah, I think we've got to find some actual feeding fish.
All right, we've come around to the other, to another bank now. It's got a bit of wind pushing onto it. I'm hoping that this little bit of ripple might give us that bit of cover that we need to be able to get into a fish. Jared's on a fish here.
Pretty sprightly, I don't know about the size. Smash the fab. Yeah, it's a good fish. Oh, you know what I haven't done, Peach, is unlock my net.
Ah, I'll get him for you, mate.
Dang. He's a good fish.
Nicely done, mate.
Alrighty. Get that fab out of his mouth. So he's a pretty standard fish for what's in here, isn't he?
Yeah, he's probably on the smaller side for Tommos,
Yep.
but still.
Plenty of energy in him, so you can see him there. Anyway, we'll get him back in the water.
Beautiful.
Off he goes.
Nice.
I did say to you, remind me to unlock my net, and I didn't remember.
And I completely forgot.
Lucky he wasn't a 5-pounder, eh?
We're on the board.
That's it. Avoid the skunk day.
Oh.
Rise.
Yeah, no.
Got him.
Had a fish take the... Oh, he's a good fish.
He's a
I
good
saw him
fish.
following that in. He's a good fish, mate. Gonna have to go easy on this guy on the 4X. The blob on the top dropper was just waking a little bit, and I saw him come up and
Hit it.
have a go at it a couple of times. He hasn't really woken up yet, this guy. I'm gonna have to be a little bit careful here. There he goes. He's got two flies trailing off him as well, which I'm going to have to be a bit careful about. Yeah, a nice rainbow. He's taken the blob.
Oh yeah, he's a lovely fish.
Yeah, he's a nice one.
Nice.
I'm going to keep this guy in the water as much as possible. There he is, guys. You can see the blob in the corner of his mouth there. I think he was actually attracted to the wake of the fly. All right. Let's get him back in. Off he goes. Yeah.
Well done, mate.
Nice fish. Oh, on the board, finally.
It's a magic bullet, the old blob, the magic bullet.
Yeah, it seems to be the ticket today, doesn't it?
It's interesting as well that he's favouring that one up higher because...
I think it's because it was waking across the surface.
Yep. Geez, we've been on a bit of a rampage with the old blob fishing at the moment, haven't we?
Oh, mate. It surprises me that more people don't fish them in Australia, you know?
Yep.
I just think it hasn't really caught on. I know that at one point when they first came out on the comp scene, people were trying them, and then a lot of the comp guys said, oh, they're not that good, they don't really work that well here.
Yep.
Well, that hasn't been my experience.
No, maybe it's just learning how to fish them. They're
I think it just depends on the day, on whether fish are going to be clued in on attractor patterns or not.
Yeah.
If they're onto attractor patterns, and it's that colder water spawning sort of time of year, then it seems to be a really effective way to do it.
Yeah.
He was sort of sitting along the edge of the drop-off.
Yeah.
See how there's kind of a deep bucket in here and it comes up to a peninsula, a point that sort of heads out there. And I think that fish was cruising along the edge of that drop-off.
It sets up too nicely to not have fish cruising on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, got him.
Oh, Jared's on. Good fish?
Yeah, he feels like there's a bit of weight there.
You right with your net? Have you unlocked it now?
Yeah, I have now. Yeah, I gave it just then. I was just figure eighting, and I just went rip, and then
Yeah, right.
started figure eighting again, and the line just took off. So
Sometimes can be the way. You just draw them in with a bit of noise and action,
yeah,
and then slow it down again, and that's when they'll hit it.
it's not quite tweaking, more than tweaking, but
Yeah.
oh yeah, he's a beautiful fish.
Nice fish, mate.
He's absolutely actually inhaled that, so. Come on, my little friend. You see him there.
Lovely.
Beautiful. Oh, slide him back in.
Very nice. Well done. Well, we've sort of hit a little bit of a pattern at least, I think, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely. Yep, needs that bit of movement every now and then to get him interested, definitely.
Taken a little while to figure it out.
Yep.
So I'll just tell you guys a little bit about the flies that we're fishing today. Jared and I are fishing two different variations of the same kind of fly. Basically, you would have heard us talking about fabs and blobs. So a blob is this. It's made of this little sort of chenille kind of stuff that's called fritz. And this particular colour, I tie a little bit of chartreuse in the tail of mine, but this particular colour is a really orangey, pinky, coral kind of colour that's obviously a spawning colour for the fish. Now, Jared is fishing a variation of the blob called a fab. A fab is an acronym that stands for foam-assed blob. And as you can see, it's got a little bit of foam tied in the back end of it there. And that's simply just to give the fly buoyancy, basically. So that's a really useful fly for fishing on the point when you want to fish a washing line setup, where you have a floating line, a couple of nymphs with beads on the droppers, and then a fab on the point. And what happens is that fab floats, or, you know, is suspended just under the surface. The nymphs sink down, and then when you pull the line tight, the nymphs come back up again in the water column. It keeps them nice and high in the water column. So yeah, it's just two slightly different approaches to the same fishing. Jared's fishing the fab on the point with a couple of nymphs, and I'm fishing the blob on the top dropper with a beaded nymph down below that. So I'm fishing a little bit deeper. Oh, I'm on. Oh. Get the camera on me, mate. Yeah. Oh, I dropped him. Oh.
What were you doing, just playing around with
I was setting the drone up. I'd left it sitting there. I'd left it sitting there for like a minute, and as soon as I picked it up and started to retrieve, I was on. All right, let's head out around that next point, I reckon.
Yeah.
All right, did you press stop or record before?
No, it should still be rolling, I think.
Oh, I don't think it was rolling.
Oh, really?
No. Ah, well.
Oh.
It's all right. Doesn't matter.
Sorry.
Nah, that's all
I
right.
can't remember now whether I pressed record or not.
I don't know. I don't know if I did either. Well, I don't know if you caught that, guys, because I'm not sure if the camera was rolling, but I just caught another lovely rainbow on the blob. So it's definitely a blob day today. All right, I've gone over to slightly more of a pulling setup. I'm still on the intermediate line. I've still got the blob on top, but I've changed out the little nymph in the middle for a little green streamer with a chartreuse bead, and I've still got that trim pattern on the point. It'll just allow me to fish a little bit faster. Getting towards the end of the day, and it'll just be interesting to see if there's any fish now that are prepared to chase a little more than they were earlier in the day. Ooh. Is that a bite? Might have. Yeah. Oh. How'd you go?
It's been hard yakka.
Yeah, it's a tough day, that's for sure. Yeah.
Makes you appreciate the good ones.
Look, it's always hard here when it's a glass out, you know?
How have you done?
Oh, look, we've had a couple of fish each, but it's been hard work.
Hard yakka, right?
Really hard work, yeah. But, you know, it's always fun because you know, when you do catch fish here, they tend to be good quality fish.
Wow, you're fishing a very long leader.
Oh yeah, it's about 20 feet and 3 flies.
Quite a bendy rod you've got there.
It's a 10-foot 6-weight. Yeah. Yeah. I like 10-foot 6-weights for lake fishing.
Yeah. I'll see you around.
Yeah, great to meet you.
I'm heading up to fish Uncle Billy's retreat in Armadale for a week.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Next week.
Yeah.
Which is the week of the fly rodders. So I'll see you the next
all right.
the next fly rodders.
Yeah, fantastic.
Good.
Be good to see you then.
Yeah,
and I'll have a look at your channel.
Lord Gadget.
Lord Gadget.
Yeah, Robert Louis. Good.
Cool. Thanks, Robert.
You had any luck today?
Yeah, we've had a couple of fish each, but it's been pretty tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about yourselves?
No, not yet.
Good to see the young bloke with the fly rod.
Yeah,
That's great.
a few about a month ago, 6 weeks ago, he bloody pulled a nice rainbow out here by himself. So
Oh, brilliant.
first time fly fishing, didn't you?
That's fantastic, mate. Good on you.
Caught a
All right, guys. Well, I think that's us for today. That was, it was fun, but it was tough. I think it's always difficult at this lake when it's a glass out. It always seems to fish much harder. But we still managed a couple of fish each.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about here is that they generally tend to be good quality fish when you do catch them. Hey.
Yeah. It's one of those days, It was lovely to be out, but it's not necessarily the best fishing weather. So
Yeah.
we scratched up a couple. It's not we beat the skunk, both of us. So
Yeah.
good day.
Yeah. So the hero fly today was a little bit of a surprise. I was expecting that it was going to be a midging day and just really, really tiny midges fished static or barely moving. But the star fly of the day ended up being the blob.
The blob and the fab, yeah.
Yeah, the blob and the fab. I think it's that time of year, and obviously the fish are in spawning mode, even though they can't actually spawn. But they're definitely clued in on that orange, that coral sort of colour, hey?
Yep. They're doing the damage, definitely.
So I think three... how many fish did you end up with today? Was it 2 or 3?
2 I had.
Two.
I think 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I had 2 as well. I think the best one that I got, we didn't have the camera running,
No, that was my fault.
which was a shame. But I think 3 of the 4 fish that we got today all came on the blob or the fab, despite the fact that we were fishing a team of 3 flies. There were midges and nymphs and other streamers and other things in there.
And the kitchen sink.
Yeah, the kitchen sink, that's it. They just seem to be clued in on those flies. So, every day is different. That's part of the charm of lake fishing. I think that's one of the things that I really enjoy is every day you're solving a new puzzle. And it took us a while to kind of get it today. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a comment, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.